We're getting to the time of year where we start to see our first frost and freezes, which of course can impact our crops and household plants.
So in this week's WeatherWise, meteorologist Stone Schaefer is going over when we could see our first frost of the season.
So how does that frost form? Well, we take our air temperatures right around 5 feet above the ground. And if we start to get those temperatures mid to lower 30s, well, once that air starts to sink, because it is a little bit more dense than warm air, it will get to the ground and the ground will be a little bit cooler, right around freezing at 32 degrees. That air will have water molecules in the air. And once it touches that colder surface, it will freeze on contact, creating ice crystals on your car, on the grass, on really anything that is at that freezing mark. Our ideal conditions for frost are going to be clear skies, light winds, moisture in the air, and temperatures in the 30s. And there is going to be a difference. We have a frost and we have freezes. So what are those differences? Well, a frost is the formation of thin ice crystals on the ground and other surfaces in forms of scales, needles, feathers, and fans. This frost develops under conditions similar to dew, except the temperatures at the ground are below or at freezing. When we talk about our freeze, well, a freeze is when the surface air temperature is expected to be at or below 32 degrees over a widespread period of time. And this term is only usually used or is restricted to only be used when effective situations or occasions when the wind or other conditions prevent frost. Usually cloud cover could prevent that as well. So that's the difference between frost and freeze. So I wanted to take a look at when our first freeze is usually average time frame. Well, we're looking at right around mid-September to late September to see our first freeze. So when we look at the forecast for the next couple of weeks, it looks like we're going to be a little bit longer than that. And we talk about some areas out to the east where their first freeze is sort of early October. We might be close to that. We'll have to keep an eye on it over the next couple of weeks. Take a look at the rest of the country here. We can see there are some areas down there to the south where they never have a freeze just because of how warm they are during this time of year. And I did want to take at our latest first 32-degree freeze, so getting below that freezing mark, and it's usually the latest time is right around late October. So we're starting to get to that time frame where we could have one of the latest freezes of the year. So we'll keep an eye on this here at the KX Storm team, and when we get to those signals of frosts, freezes, we'll be the first to let you know. And remember, we do have some simplifications of our alerts coming for this first year for our freezes. A hard freeze watch and a freeze watch will now be just considered a freeze watch, and a hard freeze warning and a freeze warning will also just be considered that freeze warning once we get into those colder periods of time. So remember to continue to send in your questions so I can answer them here weekly on WeatherWise.
And you can do so by heading on over to kxnet.com, clicking on Weather, then WeatherWise.
There you'll see a link that lets you submit a question.